Tips for getting the perfect photo with your iPhone. If you have an iPhone, then you probably take it everywhere. The iPhone is a powerful camera that can capture some amazing pictures. But it's not always easy to get the perfect shot with your phone. Here are some tricks for getting just what you're looking for. Use focus and exposure lock when you need it. If you're taking a photo in low light, or if the subject you're shooting is moving around, it could be difficult to get a good focus and exposure lock. However, there's one way around this problem. Focus and exposure lock. Focus and exposure lock are located in the control center, the page with all your shortcuts. By tapping on these buttons, you'll be able to fix your camera settings so that they don't change while shooting photos. This is something we recommend using when shooting moving targets or outdoor shots in low light conditions. Go to your Settings app, tap Camera, and then toggle on Grid. To access the camera settings, tap the Settings app, then Camera. Tap Grid and toggle on or off as desired. What does this option do? By default, iOS will automatically rotate images as you take them to make sure they're oriented correctly, that is, with the top of the image being at the top of your phone screen. However, this can cause some unwanted distortion when taking photos in portrait mode. Enabling Grid will force your photos to be perfectly square, so that you don't have to worry about rotation later on. Tap the screen to set the focus and exposure points for your photo. Tap the screen to set focus and exposure points. Set your phone down on a tripod, or hold it as still as you can without one. Tap anywhere on the screen to set focus and exposure point. If you see a yellow square appear around an object in your frame, tap again to lock them in place. This will also give you options for adjusting white balance, color temperature, and other settings. Change your video resolution if you're running out of storage. You may notice that your iPhone camera is recording video in a lower resolution than usual, but there's a reason for that. If you're running out of storage space on your device, the camera will automatically switch to 1080p, the highest resolution. To change this back and save some precious space on your iPhone, go to Settings, Camera, Record Video, and select the setting for 4K at 60 fps. Alternatively, if you want to use the built-in camera app instead of going through settings every time, open up the app, and then tap into Camera from the navigation bar at the bottom of your screen. At this point, tap on Record at the top left corner of your screen. Once there are two options next to Record: High Frame Rate, 60 fps, or Standard Frame Rate, 30 fps. Tap whichever one best suits what kind of content needs capturing, whether it be slow motion footage or fast action scenes. Keep the frames per second at 30. Here's a tip that will make your videos look more professional. Set the frames per second to 30. This is usually a good option if you plan on uploading to social media, as it'll keep the video looking smooth and less choppy. If you don't care about how smooth your video looks, then keeping it at 60 fps will be fine. You can change the frames per second in the Settings app under Camera Settings. Take a burst shot instead of a single photo. Burst mode is the perfect tool for capturing action shots. When you're trying to capture an athlete performing at their peak, or a child in mid-laugh, burst mode will help you get the best picture possible. To use burst mode, simply press and hold down on your shutter button, or tap it, if using an iPhone XS or XR or above, until you see a circle fill up with green. This means that all of your photos will be taken at once, as long as there's no lag between pressing down on the shutter button and releasing it again. If there is any delay between pressing down on the shutter button and releasing it again, chances are good that some images will be blurred due to motion blur, caused by shaking hands or moving subjects, like active children. If you don't want to use burst mode but still want multiple photos per take, instead of just one snapshot in order to capture different expressions or moments during an event like a wedding or birthday party, try switching over into slow sync flash mode instead. Use portrait mode to get DSLR quality background blur and lighting effects on your iPhone 7 Plus or later model. Portrait mode is available on the iPhone 7 Plus and later models. The camera uses machine learning to create a depth map of the scene. It then uses this depth map to blur out the background while keeping your subject sharp, giving you DSLR quality background blur and lighting effects. Look for natural lighting when you're taking a picture with your phone camera. One of the most important things to keep in mind when taking photos with your iPhone is how light will affect your image. You want natural lighting, but not too much of it. When taking pictures outdoors in bright sunlight or harsh shadows, you might want to consider using a flash instead. To avoid backlit subjects, try and shoot them when they're facing the sun instead of being lit up by it. Low light conditions can leave you with blurry photos, so try and avoid shooting at night or in dimly lit rooms if possible. Capture action shots by using your camera timer feature and burst mode together. When you're trying to capture action shots, it can be hard to get the perfect moment. But with the right settings and timing, you can get some amazing shots. The best way to do this is with your iPhone's burst mode feature. First, set the timer for a few seconds, so that your device will snap several photos in a row before going into standby mode. This will take care of any shaking. Next, then select your camera app and tap on burst mode from its menu options. You may also want to choose high resolution or HD mode when taking photos, so that they come out clear and sharp. Once everything has been set up successfully, press down on your shutter button until all images have been taken. This should happen really quickly and voila. By following these tips, you will be able to take better photos with your iPhone. Your images will be more detailed, the colors will look vibrant and not washed out, and you'll have a higher chance of getting that perfect shot.